Before we start to write any codes, here is some non-coding knowledge you must know. First, you need to know what a bit is and what a byte is. Bit comes from two words, binary digit. It is the smallest storage unit. One bit can only store 0 or 1. Because one bit is so small, we usually combine 8 bits together and regard them as 1 byte. So 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. 1 byte is still very small, so we developed kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, etc. The exchange ratio between them is 1024. For example, 1024 bytes put together are 1 kilobyte. 1024 is calculated by raising 2 to the 10th. But storage device manufacturers use 1000 as the exchange ratio, not 1024. This is why the real storage capacity of your storage devices is always smaller than they claim to be. A few bytes put together are regarded as one word. Under the Intel architecture, 2 bytes form one word. Other architectures may use a different conversion ratio. Next, let's figure how much info 1 byte can hold. If we use 1 byte to store an unsigned integer, the value range is between 0 and decimal 255. If we store a signed integer, the value range is negative decimal 128 and positive decimal 127. Let's start with the unsigned integer. 1 byte contains 8 bits. Each bit can store either 0 or 1. To get the smallest value, we just fill the 8 bits with zeros. Then we convert them into decimals and add them together. We will still get 0. To get the biggest integer, we fill the 8 bits with ones. If we convert the 8 binary numbers into decimal numbers and add them together, we will get 255. If we use 1 byte to store a signed integer, the value range is between negative decimal 128 and positive decimal 127. So why aren't the absolute values of the max and min value the same? We need the positive and negative sign to differentiate positive and negative numbers. But one binary digit can only store 0 or 1. It cannot store a positive or negative sign. So the solution is to use the highest digit to represent a negative number. The remaining 7 digits all represent positive numbers. If we set the first digit to 1, it actually represents negative 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the 7th. The result is negative 128. To get the smallest negative number, or the negative number with the biggest absolute value, we fill the remaining 7 digits with zeros. Then we add negative 128 and 7 zeros together. This is why the smallest signed integer 1 byte can hold is negative 128. To get the biggest positive number, we set the highest digit to 0. 0 multiplied by 2 raised to the 7th is still 0. We fill the following 7 digits with ones. Then we convert them into decimal numbers and add them together. The total will be positive 127. This is how we get the biggest signed integer. This is also why the absolute values of the max and min number are not the same.